Josh, maybe just talk a little bit about how the summer went and what you were thinking of and focusing on to get ready for today and forward.
Yeah, obviously, tough end of the year, and this last time we'll reference that. But I think try to take some time to obviously get some rest. Fortunately for myself personally, didn't have any really bumps or bruises going in the summer this year, so had a really good summer of training. And just trying to personally build off the last few years and the growth to my play and what I can do to help this team. I think it's important. Everyone had a big summer. Everyone's driving to get better every day. Here through camp and then into the season again. Little things every day, whatever we can do to keep getting better, to try to find more levels that we need to compete with the league's best come crunch time. So that was kind of the thought for me all summer.
Josh, how long do you let that linger? Because you just mentioned that it wasn't a great way to go into the off season. But then, how much do you also use that as a driving force, as you were mentioned, for everybody to get better and to have a more positive storyline when it gets to that time of the year?
Yeah, I think it never really goes away for me. Obviously there's the abrupt end and takes a couple weeks to collect your thoughts, but for me it was pretty much in my head all the time throughout the summer, and just not being satisfied with having a great regular season and all that kind of stuff, but trying to improve and work on things. So you know outside of that, spent a lot of time on the ice with Scheif working on our game. A bunch of other guys back home just trying to get better and be ready for this season. It's exciting. We have a great group, some great young guys that are pushing to get in here, and everyone talks about our division getting better, so we need to go to another level too to stay where we were last year.
Did you go back and look at every shift from last season like you did last off season as part of your self-assessment work?
Yeah, I watched a lot of different things. The big thing for me, probably speaking about this a year ago, had a massive offensive jump 2 years ago, and wanted to keep that, but not but improve or have my defensive game at its highest end too, and not sort of trade one for the other, but try to have both. And I was really happy with how our whole team defensive game improved last year. So obviously individuals benefit from that, but I was happy with my commitment to being commitment to both ends of the puck. And so again, that was kind of the thought this year was, hey, how can I continue to evolve offensively, defensively, watch some things that guys like Hughes and Yossi, Makar are doing, just to try to learn something, bring something to my game. And then beyond that, just looking at some special team stuff. That's obviously an area we've talked about improving, and I want to improve myself personally too. So some things that I think are pretty applicable to power play and penalty kill if I'm in those roles. So that was my focus.
Josh, where do you see your defense core this year with the loss of a couple key veterans?
Yeah, obviously the guys that moving on were great teammates. Really enjoyed playing with Dilly and Schmitty, and I think veteran guys with a lot of experience in the league. So now some other guys are going to have opportunity. I'm excited about how that shakes out. I don't know, but there's some guys that look great here at the start of camp that'll have some opportunity clearly to either elevate their role or to make the jump to the big leagues. So that internal competition and depth is something that is huge for our team, and I think is probably as strong as it's been in a while. And then for guys like myself, need to take on more of a leadership role on the back end even than years past with probably some guys with a little less experience coming in this season. So Mello, myself, and P and Millsy, guys that have quite a bit of experience to take that role and help guys coming in, new faces.
Who are some of the guys of those new faces that have stood out to you?
Lots of guys. I'm not going to sit here and single anybody out, but as I just said, whether it's guys that are trying to make the jump to pro, trying to make the jump from the AHL, or some guys that are, looking to elevate their role within the NHL lineup. Everyone looks like they've had a good summer and put in a lot of work. So, the next few weeks will obviously determine how that shakes out for everyone. But it should be a really competitive camp for, forwards, D, goaltending. So that'll get us ready to go for the start of the year.
Josh, you've made both of the jumps that you talked about from AHL to NHL. You made that jump, and you made it from lower down the depth chart and to a top four and then a top pairing role. What is the scale of the jump to make it into the NHL and stick? And can you compare that to when a player goes from the third pair to that top four that's getting all those matchup minutes?
Yeah, I think there's always a step. I think that each one is kind of monumental, right? Like you go from junior to pro to NHL, and then obviously, as you mentioned, different roles within the NHL. I mean, I saw that in my career. Sheltered minutes, defensive minutes, all minutes. Like, you're adding kind of layers and things that you need to be on your game at. But as a player, you always want more opportunity. That's the one thing that everyone's after. So I think that just for me, in any one of those moments in time, I think, it was kind of taking the bull by the horns and running with it, trying to do everything you can to prepare for that role, and then sort of break the door down and take over that spot. So, but obviously, it happens naturally when guys are ready for those jobs, and but each step is massive for sure.
Is the bull by the horns message sort of then what you would pass on to these guys that are looking to elevate, or is that something you're communicating with them too?
Yeah, I mean, I think at any position in the NHL isn't given, it's earned, and so whatever, if you're trying to elevate within the lineup, obviously lots of guys are trying to do the same thing, vice versa throughout the organization at the different levels. So that's the beauty of sports, right? Like, I'm trying to elevate my game, I'm trying to improve my game, just like everyone else is. So it's that constant pursuit of the next level, or performance, I think, that drives a lot of guys. And certainly, when you're trying to make that jump to the next level, it's vital that I think what that role is you're trying to get to, and then perform to what that role's expectation is.
Josh, one of the young guys that I imagine you're thinking about that would take a big step this year is a guy like Peretti, who's obviously not here at the start of camp. You've been in contract negotiations before. I know he's been around the group. Any thoughts on his situation? Any advice that you'd sort of give him here on day one?
Yeah, I obviously missed the first few days of camp the one year, and jokingly said didn't have to do the fitness testing that year, so he's saving his legs, I guess. But obviously, bottom line, everyone's in their own situation. Everyone, it's different. Every contract situation is different. No two are the same in my view, and every process that one goes through. So, whatever he needs, as a teammate, I'm just trying to support him. Obviously, would love to have him back as soon as possible and get him on the ice to get building with the group. And I know that's probably nothing more than he wants. So just try to support him. And like I said, everyone goes through their own unique contract situation. So as a player, I worry about doing my job every day and not for people smarter than me. But just like I said, try to support him.